What is up everyone, it is Zayli and in this video I'm going to explain you the first few paragraphs from the chapter Tracing Changes Through 1,000 Years. The first few paragraphs explain about the cartographers, French and Arab, and how they made maps and how historians view their maps and how they understand it. So let's start. So first in the chapter, map 1 and map 2 have been mentioned. Map 1 was made by an Arab geographer known as Al-Idrasi in 1154 CE. This map given here is made by Al-Idrasi, and this is not the actual thing. This is just a small part of the actual Indian subcontinent map which Al-Idrasi made. So just a small section. And map 2 was made in 1720s by a French cartographer. Cartographer is a person who makes maps. So anyone who makes maps will be considered as a cartographer. So this guy, French guy, was also a cartographer, and he made a map of Indian subcontinent in 1720s, and these two maps made by Al-Idrasi and French cartographer are very different from each other. So we're gonna understand the differences. And the first difference is that in Al-Idrasi's map, South India is where we would expect to find North India. So this is South and this is North, and basically South India is located in North because South India should be located in the South direction, but it is in North. We would expect to find it in South, but it is in North. And Sri Lanka is the island at the top, which is another difference. The names of places are marked in Arabic, like the person was an Arab geographer, so makes sense. And the other difference is that there's a place known as Kanauj in Uttar Pradesh, and it is spelled as Quanauj, a Kanauj with a Q in the map made by Al-Idrasi. So these four were the main differences you need to keep in mind during your exams. Also, now we will study things of map 2 made by French cartographer. So let's view it. This is the map made by French cartographer. So you might understand that this map looks quite like India, but this map doesn't look like India at all. So that's what we're gonna see. Map 2 was made 600 years after map 1. That means what Al-Idrasi made was 600 years earlier than the map of French cartographer, and during this period of time a lot of information changed, and the subcontinent had developed a lot and had changed considerably. Also, this map seems more familiar to us. Like I told you, this map looks more like India, and this map looks completely different. So yeah, this map is completely familiar to us, and the coastal areas are very detailed, and they were surprisingly detailed. And this map was used by European sailors and merchants on their voyages which are ships. So these maps were used by these people. So before I explain this paragraph, I want to ask you a very simple question. For example, if I give you two maps, the first map looks completely like India and the second map looks completely different from India, and I ask you which map is of India. So you'll obviously say that the first map is of India, but historians have a completely different point of view on this, and they think both the maps are of India. Same case is with Al-Idrasi and a French cartographer's map. So we can understand that map 1 is of French cartographer and map 2 is of Al-Idrasi, and they are completely different, but we know that they are same and they are of the same area. But how? So equally important is the fact that science of cartography differed in two periods. That means the way of making maps 600 years before French cartographer made his map was completely different. So according to the way maps were made in that particular point of time, the map of Al-Idrasi might be correct. So historians have to view everything like this. They have to be careful and sensitive for everything they view for the past. May it be documents, maps, checks, anything they view from the past. And they have to be very sensitive, as I said, and they have to be very careful of the background. So for anything which they have to judge, they have to make sure what the situation was going on in that time, and what was the way of doing things, so that they can decide how the past thing went and stuff. And they have to be very careful of the context. So context basically means circumstances of an event which took place. So we can understand that the circumstance is the way of making maps in this example, and the event is the map. So if the historians are reading the event, they are trying to understand the event, they also have to understand the circumstances, which is the way of making maps before understanding the event. And of any so this was just an example, and it is applicable to anything they view of the past or anything which was produced in the past. This is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed and understood everything very well. Thank you for watching.